My name's Tommy Gomes. I'm a local fishmonger and trying to be a businessman. Dude, it's like 70 years worth of stuff. So everything has a story. The room this isn't even 20% of what I got. You know, this is just some stuff that I kind of threw in here in remembrance of my dad and my uncles and my brothers and the fishermen that have traveled the seas. But this stained glass window, this was my dad behind the wheel of a boat. And then of course we added the storm and all of that. But I blew my whole paycheck on this. $3,500, man. I was like 16 years old. The whole thing about my father's family was my great-grandfather was a fisherman, and my grandfather was a fisherman, and all my uncles were fishermen. My cousins were fishermen. I think I'm the last one that's still involved in fishing with what I'm doing now. You know, when the fleet left, for me, I fell pretty hard. I became addicted to drugs, and I did 10 years in prison. There's a lot of things that you can do in prison. You can be a knucklehead, you can do dope, and you can gamble, and both of those things are gonna get you in trouble. And so one of the things that I started doing was hobby crafting, and this is some of the stuff that we did. We did leather crafting. You can see this one. This one's kind of cool. It's a book of reflections. I made this suitcase for my dad. And inside of it are leather areas for his calculator, his sextant, his files, and all of that. But I made that for my dad, and my dad took this with him wherever he traveled on fishing boats. That was my dad's luggage. So, you know, when you get out of prison, it's designed for you to fail. There's no foundation that's built. Things weren't going well because the tuna fleet was gone, and I couldn't get back on a tuna boat. And even though I was working on boats, it just wasn't quite right. But I started drinking a lot to where I disappeared. I was in the streets. I was one of the homeless drunks down in OB. There was times where my knees were so scabbed from falling onto my knees because I was sick, and my throat, the esophagus was burned because of the stomach acids. I called a friend of mine who I grew up with on the boats, who was sober, and I said, man, I can't do this, I need help. And I went to the San Diego Freedom Ranch. I've been sober now for 16 years. How good does it feel? Look, man, I'm not gonna kid you with the readers or anything. I'm not 100%. Ain't never gonna be 100%. Don't want to be 100%, because if I'm 100%, I forget my past. And I can't forget my past because I do not want to repeat it.